Hello English 205 students. I want to make a quick video for you guys about our essay number 2. I apologize I got a little behind in making our outline, the sample outline that I was hoping to get to you guys earlier this week. But I have it done now, and I also extended the deadline for the outline submission on Canvas. So I want to show that to you really quickly. So when you go to your dashboard and you click on our class, let me get into student view here. If you go to the assignments section where you will upload your outline, I changed it because I did notice that I had some problems. Students had problems uploading it. So I had a setting wrong. So I fixed that. So if you go to essay number 2 outline, I extended it until to be available until March 30th, so through the weekend. Now this is optional. It does not count towards the final grade, but if you submit your outline, I can give you feedback on your development before you continue drafting your essay. So I highly recommend you submit it, but it is not required. So now you should be able to click Submit Assignment and upload your outline. If you typed it, please upload it in a Word document or PDF. But if you were only able to handwrite it and you can take a picture of it and upload that picture, that is also fine. So either way is fine for me. So now if you go to the Files section and you go to project number 2, you will see Outline for Essay English 205. So please click that and read through my notes for you on how to develop your outline. So I'm going to make this bigger. So the outline for essay number 2, this is how I recommend you begin drafting your essay. And also if we need to extend the due date, I am willing to do that as well. So please communicate with me if you feel like you're going to need a little bit of an extension. If I hear from enough people that need extensions, I can extend that. So you're going to start with an introduction. Your introduction would include a hook. You would introduce your novel and your overall issue, give general information on the issue you're addressing, and a clear thesis. And your thesis, remember this is argumentative. You're going to state your topic, whatever topic you decided to address based on your novel, and the argument you are making. What are you trying to persuade your audience to do or believe or feel? Then you'll have a paragraph with a brief summary of the novel. By the way, this was also on the handout for this essay assignment, but I expanded it here. So a brief summary of the novel. And then your body paragraphs are going to support your argument through examples, explanations, and or facts. You will include quotes from the novel and outside sources as evidence to support the claims that you're making. I recommend each paragraph has at least one quote from either an outside source or the novel. And also, it doesn't need to be a direct quote. It could be in your own words, something that you read and you paraphrased, but you still need to have a parenthetical citation in MLA format for that. Then somewhere within your essay, you should have at least one rebuttal paragraph. And we talked about rebuttal as the best way to strengthen your argument, addressing what the other side would say against your claim. And then you create a counter argument where you still convince your reader to side with you despite the rebuttal. You should do this at least once in your essay in your body section, but you could include more than one rebuttal paragraph. Also, just to let you know, if you didn't notice, I did have to extend the minimum word count for your essay since we're not doing our weekly readings anymore. So in your essay, if you want to have a couple rebuttal paragraphs, that's a good way to extend the length of your essay. So you can go ahead and try that. Excuse me. Okay. So then, after that, you're going to have your conclusion. And your conclusion, which tends to be one of the most challenging sections for students to write, is where you will restate your thesis and review the main points that you argued in your essay. You shouldn't just list the points you made, but discuss them. And then end your paragraph with a concluding statement. So those are some notes for you. Then I also included a sample outline. If I was going to submit this assignment for feedback, this is what my outline would look like. So I created an outline for an essay based on the book How to Be an Anti-Racist. Since nobody chose that book, I decided to address that one. And the topic that I want to address from the novel is addressing classism in our society. So I just wrote those notes for myself. In my introduction, I will define classism. I'll give some general facts about classism in America, and then here's my thesis. And my thesis is very clear about arguing what my point is, what my argument is. In the novel, How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi, he addresses a variety of topics impacting our society, including classism. I believe that one of the most pressing issues in our society is classism, and it is important that we work towards abolishing classism in America. Reading that out loud, I notice I probably have the word classism a little too much, so I'm going to need to revise that, but that's okay. It is okay to have a 2-sentence thesis in a type of paper like this that's more complicated. That is very common. But it's very clear here, the novel that I wrote about and the argument I am making. We work towards abolishing classism in America. That's a pretty strong statement because classism seems to be one of those things that may not be able to get rid of, but I'm arguing that we need to abolish it, get rid of it completely. And so since that's a little bit controversial, it makes for a good argument. So then I would have a brief summary of my novel, and then here's what I listed for my body paragraphs. Each of these I would turn into one full paragraph. So this is kind of like maybe the main idea for my paragraph. What would it look like to reduce classism? What would the benefits be? That's something I would start with. So give some background. And then here's one of my main ideas. One way, notice my transition, one way to address classism in our society is to create more inclusive housing opportunities. And then I would get more details in that. But right now, I just want to list out my main ideas for my body paragraphs. Don't worry about adding your details or outside quotes to your outline. My next paragraph, we can address classism by raising minimum wage. So notice I have a completely different topic here. First, I'm talking about housing opportunities. Then I'm talking about minimum wage. Okay, so you want to be able to look at different issues and different reasons to support your thesis. We can address classism by providing free college education. So another topic in how I feel we could work against classism. Now I have one rebuttal here. So somebody against my argument might say, classism is inevitable in our society because there will always be a lower, middle, and upper class based on career choices and income. So while that's a great point, I need to figure out what can I say against that to still forward my argument. So I would say as my counter argument, while a level of classism may always exist, I feel it is possible and imperative to close the gap between the level of classes. So now I changed a little bit. I'm not just saying to abolish it altogether, but I'm closing the gap between the level of classes. And so I may consider developing that more. In fact, this is already my second thesis. I may go back and change my thesis again and say instead of abolishing classism, I may argue we need to reduce the gap. I'm not quite sure yet. So and then a final paragraph that I would consider adding into my body. Consider a cap on how much money someone can make. This is kind of one of those big action solutions. Do people need to be multi-billionaires? So I'm addressing classism in lower class, but how can I also address classism in upper class? What kind of restrictions need to be made in order to close the gap? And then just because I was able to kind of summarize my main ideas, I created a full conclusion paragraph. It continues on the bottom there. I don't expect you to have a full paragraph in any of your outline, but I just kind of was on a roll and typed out a whole conclusion. I also did that because conclusions tend to be the most difficult part, as I said, for student writing. So here you can see what a full conclusion might read like. So I hope that you can use this outline to kind of guide you in how to create your outline. Again, I highly recommend you submit one by this weekend. I think it's Monday is when I have the deadline. This is not a graded assignment. You are not required to submit an outline, but I highly recommend you do it, and I can give you feedback before you continue on. Just want to go back really quick to our syllabus and look at our course calendar. This is working. Okay. Oh, I didn't put the revised one yet. Sorry for the background noise. I will Whoa, sorry. I will put up the revised syllabus and course calendar on here. So let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, good luck. Hopefully you can submit that outline. Thank you. Bye.